Thank you for the introduction, Megha, and thank you all for joining us today. I'm Astha, and in this workshop, Devanshi and I will take you through our learnings as travel creators and as Navigatio Girls. Can we move on to the next slide?
Yeah.
So, like Megha said, we've been traveling together as best friends since college, and only very recently the idea struck that we should probably start documenting our travels. And only when the pandemic hit in 2020, we realized that we can actually monetize it. And we started working towards our page as Navigatio Girls. So I'll give you a little background on me. So I am Astha and I have done my bachelor's in geography. I did my master's in society and culture and worked in the corporate sector for a year till I realized that I want to do something of my own. And that's where Navigatio Girls fits in. In Navigatio Girls, my responsibility is basically writing all the content that you see in the blogs or on Instagram. And whenever we are traveling, Devanshi has a really long bucket list, which I'm supposed to fulfill. So I would like to also call myself as a logistics person for Navigatio.
So I'm Devanshi. A little about me is that basically I've done English honors in my graduation. After that, I was still unsure as to what to pursue. So I tried event management, I tried HR. Then finally, I got into digital marketing agency. For From there, I got a little idea about how things worked. And simultaneously, we started documenting our travels at Navigatio. And since college, I've been really fond of planning all the trips. I really enjoy making extensive to-do lists on a trip. So that's why I usually do all the planning. And that's how Navigatio Girls started.
So now we'll just move on to the topic is that can you actually make money while you're traveling? So the answer is yes, and we'll just show you how. So the first thing that you're supposed to do is build an online presence. Since what you're looking for is an audience, the internet is your ocean to dive into. And you can build an online presence by opening your Instagram handle, by making vlogs on YouTube, by joining Pinterest, or also having your own website if you want to. So once you build an online presence, people see your work, you can actually start taking workshops or teach your skill online. You can teach editing, you can teach content writing, or even marketing yourself as a brand. So that's the third way to earn money would be to lead a group of people on trips or to collaborate with tour companies. So once people see how you're traveling and what your style of traveling is, there are a lot of people that approach us as well. So you can actually tap into that audience and monetize that channel as well. Another way of earning money online is through affiliate marketing. So basically in affiliate marketing, the seller taps into your audiences through your recommendations. And when they actually earn or gain customers through you, you start earning commissions. So that is another way of earning income and earning resources online. Another skill that you develop is travel writing. You can maintain your travel blog and soon generate an audience who's ready to read your content. And that's another way where you can develop a skill as well as build a network of your audience as well. So you can also freelance and take up content writing as a freelance gig, which Devanshi and I keep on taking sometimes. Another way is to become a local guide. That is, know your local space and conduct local experiences, cultural, art, or any recreational experiences in your locality. That is another way to earn money while you're traveling. So how to make content and what are the gadgets that you're supposed to use? That's the first question that strikes everybody who's starting out. So we had our smartphones when we were starting out, and both of us had the same phone, and we used to record all our content. In fact, the first couple of videos that we made on YouTube were made on our smartphones. Only recently have we shifted into an iPhone. So now all our pictures and videos are from iPhone. Another equipment that we later invested on was a GoPro because it's very handy and it also gives you quality videos and it's water resistant. So we thought instead of getting a heavy DSLR or any other camera, which we are not very comfortable with, we went for the GoPro after realizing that we want to do this for a longer time. So we took the GoPro as an investment. Another thing that you need is a tripod with the Bluetooth, or if you have iPhones, you can use your iWatch and your phone to shoot videos. But if you don't, then tripod with Bluetooth is something that you must have. So again, when you're traveling, you have to enjoy the place that you are in. You have to create content and you have to balance posting along with it. So how to go about it? So while you're planning a trip, the first thing that you should have is have a set itinerary that you know that you're going to cover these 5 places in these many days. And once you start, once you reach, you have to start your day really early because that's the best time to go, avoid crowds and get the best view as well. Again, try to find offbeat locations. Try to find locations where not a lot of people go, but also at the same time, do not miss on the must-haves of any location. Also, if you're going to, with the idea of shooting content, make sure all your gadgets are charged and they also have enough storage because sometimes you're recording and then either the battery is low or the storage is out and you don't want to miss on the shots. Another way to create content which is impactful is by tapping on trends. Make sure of the trends that are going on, the songs, or even if it's a dance, go for it. Stay updated because your audience wants to see something funky in their feed. Again, one way to go about this is to optimize dead time. So dead time is basically when you're traveling, when you can't really show aesthetic views or give some concrete information, you keep your audience engaged to stories or by sharing what's happening in your life. So that's a very good thing to tap on. Another thing is, like I said, back up your content, make sure your devices are good on storage when you're starting your day out. So once you get all this content, you don't want it to sit in your drive and not be used. So make sure that you have a content calendar and decide the number of posts that you're sending out every week or every month. Another thing that this calendaring helps is that you also know the special occasions that are coming in. If there's a Christmas, you know you have to send a Christmas post or engage your audience that way. Also, you can also study your analytics and see what's the best time for you to post. When is your audience most engaging with your posts? So, and be consistent with your post, taking care of all these factors. And also engaging audiences in stories is very important. And again, once you start growing, you get collaboration. So make sure that you don't bombard your audience with collaboration posts. We usually keep it one post amongst 3. So that's about it.
Okay, now I'll take over.
All right.
So a couple of the editing apps that we have relied on. One is InShot. Personally, it's one of my favorite apps. It is really simple to use. It has all the basic transitions and it's completely free. So for reels or for any video, even actually sometimes for YouTube videos, I've relied on InShot. It has been truly great. Snapseed is one of the best and again free apps for photo editing. Um, Almost all features that you would need to edit a photo are available on Snapseed and it's completely free. So that, and then if you become a little better with videos and want to try out different transitions, then VN Video Editor is another good option. So these are our go-to editing apps. We actually started traveling during the pandemic. We started in 2020 of November of 2020. So how has it been while traveling during an ongoing pandemic is that we try to choose offbeat places. The crowd is actually pretty less there. It's sometimes even safer than our own hometowns. We've also tried traveling slowly, which means that we stay at a particular destination for a month or maybe more, which gives us time to not only um, decide our pace and go to the touristy places on weekdays, or just uh, like avoid the crowd basically. So yeah, that's how slow travel helps you. Again, road trip has been one of a good way to avoid crowds, avoid local transport or public transport, be safe, yet explore new destinations. And yes, we have prioritized trips with outdoor activities like trekking, because again, the crowd is less. When you're outdoor, the risk of COVID reduces by a certain amount. So we try to plan trips where we are doing some outdoor activity instead of visiting cities or cafes or something like that. How the most common question I feel a lot of people ask us, how safe is it to travel in a girls only group or solo? And here are our top safe travel strategies. Firstly, obviously, do your research. There are cities which are comparatively more safer than other. So start with cities that have a better ranking in that way. We usually travel during the day, and by night we try to be back in our accommodation or wherever we are staying, so that we also feel a little more safe, and our parents are also more happy that way. We opt for an all women's dorm, so that you can meet new people, but it's girls, so you feel more safer. Obviously, we keep our parents or somebody from our friends always informed about our whereabouts. If we're not going to be reachable for a couple of days, we make sure to inform everybody about that. And as a Hail Mary, always carry a pepper spray. Um, yeah, that's it. A list of places that we feel that you can start with, which are safe. Jibhi is really offbeat. You'll find it really empty, and it is beautiful, and it also has a lot of activities. So you can go for a trek. There's a waterfall there, there's a river there, so there's a lot to do, and yet it's very safe, and the locals are very helpful there. Another one of our most favorite destinations is Meghalaya. uh, it was we went on an all girls trip to Meghalaya, and we didn't feel unsafe for even 1 second. It is again breathtakingly beautiful. The the rivers, the mountains, the waterfalls, everything in Meghalaya is just outstanding. And again, the locals are very, very helpful. We went on a trek, and we did it by ourselves, and there were locals always helping us out. So Meghalaya is another very good destination if you're just starting with. Mukteshwar is close to Nainital, but it is little more offbeat. So again, a very good option. Again, the locals are very, very sweet, and everybody takes care of you really well. Um, Again, then Goa is always a good idea. So we've had really good experiences in Goa, and again, thankfully, the locals have been really nice to us. The people that we've met over there have been really supportive and have really helped us. Um, and of course, there's a lot to do there. There's beaches, there are wildlife sanctuaries, there are so many activities and amazing food. So yeah, Goa I feel is a you can always go there and have get great content. Another one of my favorite places is Udaipur. It's a cute little place and it's really pretty. And again, the streets, we have roamed there around during the night, and it was always safe. We never felt unsafe there. So these are like top 5 places you can start with where you won't feel unsafe, I feel. So what do we keep in mind while we choose the right accommodation? So obviously, location is top priority for me. I want a accommodation which is close to every destination that I want to cover or we want to cover. So I match with my checklist where all we have to go and which location would be in the center of it all, so that we don't spend too much time wasting on traveling in the city itself. Then, of course, reviews are really important because hygiene and cleanliness is kind of important to us. So we check out the reviews, see the images given by other travelers or who have already stayed before. Accessibility to things like just how accessible it is by road. Sometimes you will find a really good place, but to reach the location, to reach that accommodation is such a problem that it does not help in the end. Then we look at the amenities. A Wi-Fi is a must. How will, like, without Wi-Fi you can't really work, and we needed to back up our content or post stories, everything. So Wi-Fi is one of the things that we usually look at before checking in. And of course, then safety, which can be checked through the reviews, and you can talk to the people who've stayed there or to the manager and decide. Another important question is, how do we approach brand for collaborations, or how did we start getting the brand collaborations? So obviously, first we focused on building an online presence, which means that we stayed consistent, we posted regularly, we made an effort, we tried to engage with our followers. Yeah, just that we tried to stay relevant with all the trends. Um, then we keep track of our engagement. We take extra efforts to connect with everybody who messages us. We reply to all our comments. We keep checking our DMs, because a lot of times there are messages in the other section, and there are a lot of brands approaching you, but you never end up checking that section and you miss out on a lot. So that, then again, another way is that you can stay connected with the brands. You can start engaging with them yourself by um, tagging them in your stories. If you're using their product, then you tag that product. You follow them on Instagram and engage with the content, so that you come in their presence. uh, Finally, you should not always wait for the brand to reach you. You should also yourself pitch to the brand. uh, um, you show them what you can offer. So have your media kit ready, which is basically your resume in a way. It consists of all the work that you've done with supposedly another brand, or if not, then the work that you're proud of. A set of good photos, or if you're doing a blog, so your best blog, and you share it with your brand with your statistics of your blog or Instagram page, and pitch yourself to the brand that you think you connect with, which will be right for your audience. And sometimes brands say yes, they take you on. So that's also a very good way, that you should be proactive and not just be let brands approach you. You should also approach the brands. So that's how we started getting the brand collaborations. That's it from us. If you want any further insights, And if you have any other questions, you can reach us at Navigatio Girls, and we definitely answer. If you need any guidance in specific destinations or any questions at all, we will answer. Now, I think we can start with the question answer.
Devanshi asked her, the first one is from Shikha to everyone goes, do companies like Condé Nast and give me a second, I think I lost it. Yeah, Condé Nast and Tripoto pay freelance writers?
Yes, Tripoto has a program. You can apply there. Also, I don't know if you know, there's a travel blogger called Millennial Larki. She regularly freelances with the Condé Nast Traveler. So yes, they do.
And also you can start blog writing for others, other brands or other organizations, and actually start building it as a skill and monetize it. If anybody has any more questions.
Yes, there are questions that says, can you suggest some offbeat places in India? No, actually before this, we have someone asking you for the brand, the tripod and Bluetooth brand you use.
We use Amazon Basics at the moment, so it works well for us. We haven't really, tech is the last place that we invest in.
Okay. Some places, offbeat places that you'd suggest in India, I think you've already covered that. You've spoken about Jibi, Mukteshwar, you've spoken about Udaipur, Goa, and Meghalaya. And then we go on, considering you have a main regular job, how do you maintain work-travel balance?
So I have been working from home for the past 1 year, and I've been freelancing with different organizations for content or digital marketing or even video editing for that matter. So I take up freelance work that I can manage with travel, and it works well for me.
Same with me. I usually, we started after pandemic hit, so it was work from home firstly. Secondly, I chose jobs where I can work and balance the traveling.
Okay, and how do you manage your finances during this?
So I have been staying at home, so I really don't have to spend a lot on my rent or other things that I would if I would have been living in a city. So work from home has helped that way, and whatever I earn, I save, then travel. And most of the time we're traveling, like we said, we get sponsorships, we get collaborations. So our stay is sponsored, or even our travel stay is sponsored. So we have to spend the bare minimum. So building an audience or working on this full time has helped us, cut down on our travel expenses to a very great extent.
So that's what these guys were asking. Banyashri was asking next was, any trusted hotels that you recommend, like Airbnb? Your finances you've spoken about. One is, any trusted hotels that you recommend on Airbnb or like Airbnbs, or the other one is, do you pay for your stays or travel? I mean, or is it sponsorship? So you just mentioned that you do have quite a number of sponsored stays as well.
Yeah, so we have had sponsored stays or barter collaborations where, the property would ask you to stay for X number of days, but they would also expect some social media deliverables. So if we stay at a hostel, we do a couple of stories for them or a couple of reels for them. But we also, for like a complete week or complete set of days, our stay gets sponsored. So that way it helps us in cutting down our expenses and also increasing our network and our audience. Because once you approach a brand, once you do good work for them, they definitely come back to you. And that's been happening with us. Most of the people that we've collaborated with, they've liked our work and they're offering us to come back and check out their other properties. So that's how this works.
Okay, and are there any trusted hotels or Airbnbs that you'd recommend?
Yeah, I think we do have a list that we'll feel free to connect with us on Navigatio Girls, and we'll share it with you. But we usually have them on our page as well, so you will like come to know when we go, we do talk about it. But on top of my head, we recently stayed at Piggy Hostel in Goa and we had a great experience. It was sponsored, but still the experience was pretty great. And it was safe, it was clean, um, it was cheap. So yeah, it's a good place.
Okay. Next one goes from the point that you've started till now, how long will it basically take for someone to get to a point where they start earning from travel?
Depends on how, you can go viral and you might start earning in 6 months, or it'll take a year. Actually, sometimes it doesn't matter, because whether you have like a great following or not so great following, you can earn whenever. You can always do freelancing and take up travel writing, or pick up jobs in a, like wherever, whichever city you're going. Maybe you can volunteer with the hostel. So you won't be able to cover all your expenses, but from day one you can start earning a little.
Okay. How do you approach people for sponsorship? I think that's something that you've covered, but if you just quickly summarize that in a couple of sentences, that'll be great.
So I can give an examples. Say we were traveling to Maheshwar last year, and we wondered if we could reach out to local hotels and ask for a stay in return of some um, social media post or reach out that we could outreach that we could give them. And we sent out a couple of cold emails, and actually one of them converted and we got a free stay when we merely had a following of 1500 followers on Instagram. And this was in November 2020. So I think that's how you can actually get collaborations, and reaching out helps.
Okay. There are questions to do with tips for solo travelers, and then there is one to do with how can you make your content stronger.
Hmm.
Devanshi, will you take this?
Sorry, I couldn't. What was the question? How do you make the content
One is
stronger?
how do you make your content stronger? This is from Girish to everyone. He goes, he's a solo traveler. He wants to understand what he can do to make his content stronger. And the other is, if there are any tips that you have for solo travelers.
We have solo travel. We haven't really done that much because we usually have each other at least. So not sure, but I think the best thing to do while solo traveling is that stay in a hostel. You meet so many new people. It creates such a good network, and don't be afraid to make new friends, have a conversation. Yeah, so that's one of the best things about solo traveling, I feel. How to make content stronger? I feel practice makes perfect. You have to keep clicking and editing. That's how you get it right. There is no other way. You have to keep traveling, and you should research. Obviously you should look at what others are doing, and you can take inspiration from that. You keep up with the trends. I think it's easier now that there are trends that you can like just if nothing remake. So hop on that if nothing else. And yeah, basically research, learn. You have to keep always learning. That's always have to keep your mind open to that. So yeah, that's how you can make your content stronger.
Okay, then it is. Tisha wants to know, is it a good idea to solo travel, to travel solo or to join a travel group?
I think initially you should, if you're really, really scared to start off, you can start going solo in a travel group. They have a set itinerary, so it makes that easier, and you'll interact with the people in the group. Once you enjoy that, then you can start with solo travels, because it's pretty great. Like staying in hostels and meeting new people, a good fun time.
Okay. Ira wants to know if one needs to have a large follower base on social media to be able to get paid to travel.
Mm, Like I said, no, that's not necessary. We started approaching brands early on, and initially maybe it'll be a barter collaboration, but yeah, you can start earning. Again, it won't cover all your costs, but some amount of money you'll definitely start earning. So yeah, you don't need a large social media following.
Okay. Akriti is asking, how do you manage to get cool pictures of you while you travel, while you're on the go? Are they timed pictures or do you ask people to help you out with pictures?
We do both. We rely on the tripod, like we said, it's a lifesaver at times. But there are places where tripod just doesn't work, and sometimes it's just a lot of time to take out the tripod, set it up, and if we have people around, we prefer asking for help.
Okay. Manishri is vegan. She's asking if you know of any locations with vegan restaurants.
Asta?
I don't think both of us would be able to help you with it.
But I think Beer and Dharamkot or Dharamshala, or I think all place actually Goa. Goa has a lot of new cafes with vegan.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. There are. I think all places are starting accepting, and yeah, I think if you try hard enough, you will find at least one cafe in every locality.
Okay, someone's asking, how do you convince parents to travel solo?
Um,
Or to travel, two girls traveling together also might be a big deal. So how do you convince your parents?
I think it's one
sometimes.
for
So
Asta.
actually, yeah, I'll take this one. So amongst the two of us, I have the more convincing to do. My family, Devanshi's family is quite understanding, does not require much convincing. But with me, I need to like really explain why I need to travel. So it's sometimes I need to pick a fight, sometimes it's all amicable. But if you have to travel, if you are sure of what you want to do with your content, you should just go for it, even if it even if nobody's convinced. So yeah.
Okay. Some women only travel groups that you would recommend?
I'm not aware of any women only. So we usually don't travel in groups, and because we like the figuring it out by ourselves part, and we always end up saving a lot of money when we figure it out ourselves. So we haven't really researched on it, but we'll definitely look that up, and we'll let you know if you connect with us later.
But there is a page on Instagram called Indian Girls Travel, and they do girl trips only. They do a lot of treks. So yeah, you can check out that page if you want. They have a trip going out every other, matlab, once in a month for sure. Indian
Okay,
Girls
now
Travel.
we have Mona Lisa who has a special request. If you would help her out with how did you convince your parents when you were in college? Because she is apparently in second year of college and she can only travel local places. So are there any tips from that end?
Just tell them it's a college trip and everybody's going. I think that's a good way to go about it, because
Okay, awesome. Any more questions, guys? Please feel free to drop them here while we have a little more time to get this done with. Um, and Astha, Devanshi, in the meanwhile, if there are any examples of, okay, yes, I think Hilti is asking us if people, if there are brands that sponsor you, do they still pay you? I think she is a little confused between what the difference between barter and paid is. So if you could just shed a little light there.
Are you taking it or should I?
go for it.
There are different deals. Sometimes we've done a lot of barter collaborations initially, because we were also not aware whether we could charge people or not or how much. we were also just starting out. So we initially did a lot of barter collaborations where they sponsored us, but they did not pay us. So they maybe sponsored our stay or sponsored our trip. And in return, we gave them social media deliverables, but we were not paid. But after couple of months of doing that, we realized that maybe we should, not just do barter, we should start asking for money as well. If they agree, then what's the harm? And once we started asking for money, people started paying us as well. So yeah, sometimes we still do barter collaborations, but now we do more of paid collaborations.
Okay. Someone wants to know if you're from Chhattisgarh. You're on mute.
Mute.
Astha.
Sorry. So yeah, I'm from Chhattisgarh. I think probably that's where the question.
Okay.
But only Astha is.
Yeah.
Where are you from, Devanshi? Not that it matters.
I'm from Delhi. I'm from Delhi.
Okay. And then how much do you guys charge hotels? I'm sure it's different for different places, but
yeah.
Nandini wants to know if there's a fixed price with hotels. And
actually,
I think the question is more to do with, how do you decide how much to charge a particular place?
Yeah, so actually we don't have a pricing specific to an industry. We have a pricing according to our followers, and we have different pricing for different posts. So a reel will cost a different amount, a post will cost a different amount, a YouTube video will cost a different amount. So yeah, that's the difference, not per industry per se.
Okay. Then could you throw a little more light on affiliate marketing? How do you get started with that?
Okay, I'll only go. So affiliate marketing is basically, I think one of the most famous ones, if I have to give an example, is Amazon influencer program. When you reach a certain stage, when you reach a certain followers, you can apply to the Amazon program, and then like whatever you buy off Amazon, not whatever, related to your niche. So we will have list, and we will put out a list which have travel equipments or things related to travel that we have used, and we can suggest. We make a list, and every time you buy off from that list, we get a certain amount, 5% or a 2% commission depending on products. Similarly, there are a lot of brands which have an affiliate program in their website. So maybe you can do a little research and check out brands' website. And if they have an affiliate program, you can apply to it. And again, once you use the product, and if you like it, or even if you don't like it, and you put a blog post or a social media post with your code on it, every time somebody purchases from that code, you will get a commission.
Okay, understood. Then we have Kilti for everyone. I don't know if you're allowed to share this information, but she goes, could you share your charges for post reels and videos?
Yeah, I don't think we'd be able to share that information here.
Yep, I don't think you will be able to. Not an issue. Anybody else, guys, please feel free to drop in your questions. So we have a few more minutes left before we can wrap this up. Okay, Shikha wants to change that question.
How do we calculate? Brand standards? Maybe you can do a little research on Google and see how much other
unmute myself and talk because typing would take too long. Hi Astha, hi Devanshi.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. So yeah, I'm Shikha. I have a Instagram page called Soul Strokes, and where I have a following of about 7,000. First off, thank you so much for this session because it was really enlightening. And like you said, it's okay to reach out to people and brands. I think that's something that many of us really don't do because A, at times we don't know how to approach brands, and B, at times we don't know, what to say and what to, ask. Like for instance, this uh, asking them for the, for price feels like uh, too much at times, and then it sometimes also feels like, you'll say, let's say I've charged 3K for a post, and then while I'm typing that, I stop, and then I, think in my head that is it too much, or will they say no, and will this, will that, and then it comes down to me not approaching any brand. So that's what happens, and I don't know. Like you said, Google research and everything. That's something that I have done in the past, but that doesn't seem to help. So maybe you can throw some light on, how to get over that hump of, approaching people. That boss, okay, fine, I want to partner with you, or I want to come and stay at your hostel or hotel, and I would maybe create content for your website, or I would maybe put content on my profile for your website, and then these are my remunerations. So I think that's a difficult conversation to have for beginners.
Initially, maybe you can start off by, I feel if you feel a certain price, you should go for it. It's your effort at the end of the day. You decide what you feel you should charge for your effort. So, yeah, you shouldn't think that if it's too much or not, what's the worst case scenario? They'll say, no, it's okay. You'll try it with another person, with another brand. So, firstly, don't doubt yourself. But maybe initially to get a little confidence, you can do a barter collaboration and see what kind of content you will produce with a brand, because it is different. You have different challenges, especially in a travel scenario when we thought we could do this, but when we actually reached the destination, there are other challenges. So maybe start with a barter collab if you're so unsure. But I feel if you think that a certain amount is right for the effort that you have put, then you should demand that much.
Yeah, even many a times we discuss amongst ourselves and we quote the price we think we should deserve, and then they come back to us. Either we negotiate further. If they're also really interested, we negotiate, and if not, we let the opportunity go, because you really need to push for how much you need, because people would always offer you the least amount.
Yeah.
So always negotiate.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining. If anyone else has any other question.
Yes,
I
I
think
think
there's one
Cutie
more.
has a question where I think she just wants to know, a rough idea on how she should charge. Basically, she's a graphic designer and did her first solo trip to Himachal. So it gave her a boost of confidence, but now she wants to start this is like her full-time career and is a
Oh,
little lost about how she should go about it. So that's what she's asking, what she should, like, what her starting steps should be, and a rough idea on how she should be charging.
so the new career is travel vlogging, or
Yeah.
you want to do graphic designing while traveling? I'm a little confused.
No, I think she wants to start traveling full time.
Yeah, she wants to travel full time. She is a designer now, and
And
after
she
her
needs
trip
the
to Himachal,
skills as
she
well.
thinks that she wants to make a switch. Yeah.
Graphic skills, you can do video editing, I feel. Um, um, yeah,
And also, what I think is, if you want to start this as a career, continue your graphic designing work, because you can always do it remotely. Travel to new places while also picking up graphic designing projects that will help you, stabilize your finances, and you're not dependent on anybody to travel. And once you start posting content regularly, you can either completely switch from graphic designing, or find a balance and find your way.
maybe you can have designs inspired from your travels, So maybe you can start posting your graphic designs on your page or wherever your online presence is, which are inspired from your travels. So you can start with that, and maybe that will pick on, and maybe you can start selling those graphics.
Okay, great. I think we're through with most of our questions. Kirti says thank you.
Welcome.
Is there anything else? Actually, even you guys, if there's anything that you'd like to add on, or any advice that you'll have for all of our attendees here?
Yeah, I'd just like to say that you should, if you think content creation is for you, or a space that you even want to start as a side hustle, you should really give it a shot and just go for it and not doubting yourself. And there's really not too much to figure out. If you're consistent, you'll find your way, and all these questions that you have, the doubts, they'll eventually get resolved. So keep working towards it, stay consistent, and don't think too much about who's going to say what. So yeah.
Great. Kilti is asking if Kulkarni also offers such jobs. Kilti, we'll get back with you on that. We'll definitely have jobs like that sometime soon.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
I think great.
Yeah, please connect with us on our page, Navigatio Girls, as well. We'd love to have this
Yes,
conversation.
and any questions that you guys might have that you'd want to, you can think of later that you'd want addressed, please feel free to DM them, and they'll let you know. Thank you, Artha. Thank you, Divanshi. This was
Thank
really
you.
nice. And thank you, everyone, for attending.
Thank you,
We're going to
everyone.
have
Thank you.
a lot more of these sessions, and please join us again. Thank you, guys. Take care, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you for your
Thank
time.
you. Bye.
Bye.